We're good. Okay, so I'm gonna
I'm just
explain.
to set up the cameras.
I'll explain a bit better of what happened last, seeing as it's been a bit. It seems like I'm going through like
Mm-hmm.
Groundhog Day, saying that a lot, but I swear it's over. It's over. But
For now.
yes, for now. Last session was pretty important for a few different reasons. You learned a lot about the world and about the people around you. For example, you learned of the fact that Sizu is a reincarnation of the first Empress of Holta, promptly titled Suzuzaki Orion, very original.
Mm-hmm.
The creature is allowing her to control it. Virtue, God rest her soul, found out a little bit more about Creed, about what truly lies behind his bandana, and how he was connected to the critical reset. And then Virtue learned and quickly shared with the rest of you that Luna, the Queen of Holta, has died. And the reset has begun. Woo, yippee! Haha. Wolfsbane and Jinx and Spine are nowhere to be seen as well, which is not alarming at all. At the same time of all of this, Rock Crusher was stuck in this strange limbo between life and death. And Quasi, not Quasi Blindside, just Quasi, was keeping him company. Quasi explained what Rock Crusher had really done. He said that while Rock Crusher's prophecy of becoming the dragon had been fulfilled, he had the chance to make a new life afterwards. This is because his prophecy was relying on the timeline of Rock Crusher killing Elise and becoming a dragon to escape the interdimension, but because Rock Crusher didn't do that, Elise lived, Quasi Blindseye was born, and they ended up in Drahadux and got back to Zathrax late enough to have Creed on their side. Excuse me. Where was I?
Bless you.
Thank you, thank you. So,
Clean up and drop it off.
basically, long story short with that, Rock Crusher got to live because he spared someone's lives. Congratulations. But because of your butterfly effect of creating Quasi Blindseye, you have a second chance at life. And the party all traveled down to the Cave of the Cursed Dragon to help with that. Creed used the last bit of his strength to fix the portal while the rest of the party defended the circle from these weird, strange, living vine sort of things. And together, the party revived Rock Crusher, but he's a little bit different from when he was last alive. Speaking of those differences, Rock Crusher, I have a bit of devastating news for you about your stats.
Give it to me gently.
Okay, please take your strength score down to a 22. Your constitution score down to a 20.
Oh, bear with me a second. My strength is, like, technically it's already a base score for strength is 18. But it's 25 because of the belt.
Of course. Here, then just take off the belt.
No, I'm going to drop it down to 22.
Just take off the belt. No, no thanks. I think
No.
No, the belt's like, I've got like bed sores, the belt's fused to me.
Fine, whatever.
Sorry,
You
constitution.
see as Rock Crusher's belt slowly just turns to dust.
I know, it's part of me.
Take your constitution down 2 points.
Oh no, a 20 constitution. How will I survive?
Yes, and your dexterity down 2 points as well.
Now he went down half the points I was taken away from. Tisk tisk.
Alright, done. I got a 22 strength and 18 dex, 20 con.
Oh god. How's he gonna live?
How will I
Shit.
survive?
Oh god.
My god, I've been
We,
crippled.
we see as some muscle mass just shrinks. Like we can barely notice, but it just.
And you're now black. It's not even joking. You're gray. Like a charcoal gray.
Can I say the word?
Damn.
No, you're still the dragon.
Damn it.
You still got some pale skin underneath those scales. Calm
Okay.
down. But now that that is fully fixed now, we enter back to all of the party asleep. You see, Otto, you are the only one that can really take a watch. Everyone else was kind of hit pretty hard.
Ed.
I think I'm pretty sure I took like a long rest, not a long
Yeah.
rest, but like a short rest, which is enough for me to be fine.
So
I'll probably just keep the full watch.
Yes, you can take the full watch. On this watch, you see that Virtue has vanished. I do actually have a reason for this now, but you don't know what it is, so you're just like, oh,
And just kind of yoinked them and just said, "See ya."
oh, damn, that's crazy. Rock Crusher, you cannot take a watch because you're already fallen asleep.
So I'm like dead.
Yeah, go to bed. All of you have gone into the makeshift tents that you made when you were first in the cave. It seems like a long time ago, but it's actually only been about a week since that's happened. Just so you have a good understanding, you have Daichi, Elise, Creed, and Sizu all with you. Most of them are asleep. But after everything sort of died down, you haven't seen Creed at all. Even after sort of pressuring him to rest, he seems that he just didn't want to, or something like that.
Did this dude just dip?
He did. The last thing you saw of him was him talking to Sizu until he just went away. But before we move to what Otto sees, we're going to begin with Rock Crusher.
What?
Whoa. Rock Crusher, your mind and body are completely exhausted, but it seems that your dreams are still very active. Your dreams are flashing between a lot of things. They say that sleep is the best time to process everything that happened, and you sure as hell need a lot that you need to work through. So your mind is flashing between these things, trying to understand what just happened. You see your time in the interdimension. You see an image of yourself talking to Elise in that private room of before, and this image sort of flashes with brief intervals with a different story, one with you killing Elise instead of talking to her. Your vision changes to see Daichi dying in your arms again. You see yourself getting blown up with that magnetic explosion from trying to create the twin magnets, and that image flashes with an image of Elise dying instead in that explosion. And then you see an image of yourself fully dying that explosion too. You see flashes of Jinx. His normal conniving grin is intermixed with a different one that is a lot softer. You see yourself fighting the Jinx that you know, and then you also see an image of you fighting Wolfsbane alongside Jinx as your ally, which is strange to think, with him sort of giving you some sort of power to defeat him. You see an image of yourself buried deep into the ground next to Creed, in the deepest layer of hell. Very, very calm, of course. And everything is flashing so fast that you can barely keep up with it. But it is definitely keeping your brain awake, which is kind of exhausting, seeing as you just want to sit there and sleep. That is, until everything settles on an image that you are very familiar of. It settles on that vision of you and the Iron Blade creature charging towards Spine, the Burrowing Blade creature, and an entire army. You remember this vision very well, but there's something different about it this time. Instead of you being underneath the creature, it's Sizu. Next to her is Virtue and Otto. Next to them is Elise, Creed, and Daichi. And instead of fighting just Spine and his army, you see Spine, his creature, Wolfsbane, and the Starblade creature fighting them. And this is where you wake up in a sweat. Otto, yes you do.
Mm-hmm.
Otto, you do not see this as it is happening sort of behind the Cinderburn behind the Burrowing Blade. Oh my gosh, the Iron Blade Bakuzo, as you remember Sizu taking care of Rockcrusher's wounds, trying to speed up the healing process. So, if you want, you could hear what is going on, but you can't see it. Just so you
Okay.
understand. And you can choose, because it's completely silent, so it would not be difficult to hear it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the slightest sound's gonna get my attention, so I probably will listen.
Okay. Rockcrusher, you wake up, sweaty, sore as hell. You vaguely remember that you were in the Cursed Dragon Cave from the small moment that you were awake, but this is the first time that you're truly taking account of your surroundings and yourself as well. Describing your body, you see that your body is a charcoal black color. All of the red of your scales has completely gone away, apart from smaller little hints of it around the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes, the tips of your tail, your horns, and your wings. You feel weaker, not extremely weak, but you feel weaker than you used to be. Your hulking mass of a body has gone away and replaced with a smaller figure that you never thought you'd have to see. And around you, you recognize that this is a place that you slept in quite some time ago when you were in the Cursed Dragon Cave. But this time, you're not alone. As you hear, "Rough night?" Sizu ask from right next to you. She's a package of bandages in her hands, and Cinderburn is sitting right next to her, curled up into a ball as if this 20-foot-tall Bakuzo can sleep like a cat. It doesn't have any eyes, but you can tell it's asleep. What do you do? Apparently nothing.
Is
He's
what I
having a
do.
seizure.
I just died, so I'm groaning like a person who just died.
You, feeling all right? I'm sure this took a lot out of you.
Sort of, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm sort of like gesture to like all over, like everywhere.
Yeah, I know how you feel, she says as she's tending to your wounds, trying to put bandages on it and pressure on areas that hurt. I'm actually probably the only other person that can understand what you're going through. Not just the pain, but having to watch yourself die. It's weird. If I can ask, if you want to answer, I guess, what did it feel like to, watch yourself turn into that dragon?
Like, yeah, but dying hurts.
I guess that curse has really made you weak. You've never complained about dying this much before.
It's my fault.
Yeah. Just sit there. I'll take care of you. Here, I'll tell you a story to make you fall back asleep. You were kind of tossing and turning, so I'm guessing you had a nightmare. Here, I'll tell you something.
Story time. Story time.
Well, back when I was alive for the first time, I went through a very different thing than you. I didn't really have someone like Jinx with me or a god to talk to me, you know? Everything was just lonely, I guess. After Quasi left me alone, I started to kill my own people, I guess, and they killed me as well. I don't blame them. They were ordered to. I was the one to give the order, how cliche that sounds. When I died, everything was just empty. None of the gods cared for me enough to do anything at the time, and all of the tribes hated me for what I did, so I never got a burial. Actually, I don't actually know what they did with my body. That's something I probably should be a bit concerned about. Anyways. But when I got reincarnated, things just were a bit different. I knew who I was, but back then, when we were kids, I was just trying to prove to the tribe that I was more than just a reincarnation. I mean, I kind of had to. Everyone hated women, they still do, so seeing one try to rise the ranks only meant harm for me. I looked up to you, you know? Always being honest with yourself, talking back to the Emperor when he'd try to force you to do something or do a traditional route of things. Had you look after your friends, look after me, when Wolfsbane was being a dick, you know. I should have known that you wouldn't go down without a fight. I was just so scared of myself, you know. I knew what I was capable of, especially if the curse came back. I'd planned on telling you everything about my past, but the day that I planned it, someone tore my eye out of my head. Funny coincidence, isn't it? I swear I'll let you go back to sleep, but kind of just using it to get the shit off my chest, you know? If you ever need anyone to talk to about more than just the physical stuff of everything hurting, of just what your body's gonna go through as it gets used to the curse being gone, and even what to do afterwards, just know that I want to find even ground and become friends again someday, if you'll have me. You don't have to respond, it's okay. I know you've gone through a lot, so just get some rest.
It's cool. Thank you. Just, everything hurts.
Yeah. Good night, Rock Crusher.
Good night.
Otto.
Yep.
Can you roll a 1d6 for me? For no reason.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, totally.
No reason.
Actually, if I roll a 6, I will get infinite power when offered this.
Of course.
I got a 5. I was one off.
Okay,
the
hold on. Oh, how fun.
Do you start falling into a pit that never ends?
No. Otto, after this conversation sort of died down, a couple minutes have passed, maybe 20 or 30 minutes have passed. It's basically the middle of the night at this point. But in the distance, you see the room full of the letters written into the walls, the notes written into the walls. You see a little flash of this light teal hue, sort of beam of light flash and then dissipate very quickly. And you hear someone talking to themselves. And you even hear a sort of banging on the ground. What do you do?
I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace and stealthily walk over to that general area. Like, is this like someone's voice I'm familiar with? I probably should ask that first.
You recognize it as Creed.
Okay, so fuck the Pass Without a Trace. I'm still gonna try and be stealthy about it, but generally get closer to get an understanding.
Roll a stealth check.
I got an 18 for the stealth.
Okay. So you walk over to where Creed is, and you do see Creed, the man with legend himself, sitting in this room with his forehead resting on the floor in a position that most use to pray. But you can tell that he is not. He doesn't look any better from before you went to bed. If anything, he looks worse. His body looks as if it's almost decaying, his hair is tangled, and there's only a silhouette of skin and bone, pale skin and bone, and you hear him talking to himself, cursing out something, but he doesn't say who or what. Just saying, fuck.
I'm gonna kind of walk to the side to kind of make my presence known a little bit and being like, hey, bud, you kind of just disappeared. What the hell happened? You look worse for wear. Worse than what, you left.
It's quite fine. I'm used to being in far worse condition.
That doesn't make this better. Why'd you leave? How did you end up like this so fast?
The Creed sits up, fixing his outfit and hair to look a little bit more put together. He doesn't necessarily answer your question, but he does respond, saying, "This fight has become much larger than any of us. I've seen it before, and I know what happens after the ash falls and the smoke clears. So, as one of the more powerful beings on Hota, par the leaders and Bakuzos, I am doing what I need to help. Seems as though no one will listen, though."
Um, Is there anything we can do to help? It's better to work as a group than go off on your own. I get you're powerful and everything, but maybe some help?
Creed sits in silence for a bit, and then dodges your question, saying, "May I ask you a question?"
I'll answer yours if you answer mine.
"There's nothing that you can do currently to help. If anything, just keep doing what you've been doing. It's the best way to get out of this."
All right, tell me your question.
If you had the chance to save the world, bring it back to a state of equilibrium, without any chance of conflict arising ever again, but in order to do so, you will die and never come back, would you do it? Would you die for a better world that doesn't exist yet?
If I was guaranteed this better world was guaranteed, even if it didn't exist, I would absolutely do it. I think I've died once with the thought that I'd never come back, but I think if I was to die again, knowing that there was a chance all of this could be better without this shithole, I would do it without a heartbeat. If everyone I cared about got to continue and have a happy life, I would do it.
Creed slowly picks himself up, using the wall as a crutch. If only the immortals had the same logic as you. If only I had the same logic as you. Creed slowly starts to walk away from you and towards the ritual circle in the middle of the room.
I'm gonna follow him. Well, what are you gonna do now, if you don't mind me asking? Because I do feel like you should rest at least a little bit.
There is no time for rest. This world that you're knowing will be over in a few days' time if we do nothing to do anything about it, okay?
All right, well, how about I help you? At least something with this. Like, I'm gonna gesture to around them. Anything, even if it means just getting you something while we're here.
I respect your kindness, but I have to do this alone.
Just know that if you do need something, don't fret to ask. I may not be the most physically strongest or smartest, but at least I'm willing to offer a hand.
Well, then remember this. What you do in this life defines the path for your next one. Every choice matters. Don't take them for granted. 'Cause if you do, Creed takes a step into the center of the ritual circle and then turns around back to you and opens out his arms so that you can see his full body. If you do, you're staring at the consequences. I'll be back in the morning. I swear it. And before you can even respond, Creed vanishes into a flash of the same light that attracted you to him in the first place. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'm gonna quickly do a sweep around the area to make sure that there is nothing out of the ordinary before I go back to where I originally was before Creed had showed up.
Roll an investigation check.
Yeah, moment. Investigation. That's a 2.
Oh, you know, this and that.
It's peaceful.
There's
Everything's
nothing going
normal.
on. Yes,
Yep, everything's normal.
you see everything is normal.
Nice, nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess I'll continue at my post, staying awake for the majority of the night till everybody's awake. Because
All
I don't
right.
require sleep, so I won't get exhaustion.
Lucky you, lucky you. Well,
Yep.
then we will skip on over to the morning. Good morning. Rockhersher, you are the last to wake up. I'll say that the order is Elise wakes up first, then Sizu and Daichi, and then Rockhersher is the last to grumble awake, but he does wake up, and you do feel rejuvenated thanks to that long rest and the extra care that you got throughout the night. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How was everyone's sleep?
As best as it can be.
Well, that's good. Nothing. Yeah, you still look like you've been hit by a carriage like 10 times over.
Maybe more.
Yeah, it feels like it.
I can imagine.
You see Sizu start to sort of whip up the best that she can of a breakfast for herself, and she has some for Daichi as well, as all of you sort of have a surprisingly slow and still morning for what is going on outside. Is there anything that you'd like to do before I move on?
Nothing. I'm trying to think of anything, but no, I'm good.
No, not really.
All right. After a bit of a slow and calm morning, Sizu is the first to sort of take the first step into the next big thing. She claps her hands together, getting all of your attention, and says, "Well, we have two major issues now. One,
Yep.
Wolfsbane, Jinx, and Spine are all missing. I can still feel that Jinx is here, and as long as he is, there's a chance that Rockcrusher might be forced back to him. But he is weakened, though. We can maybe use that. And the second issue is that we have a whole fucking restart that started. Which one do we want to try and deal with first?"
I'm gonna be completely honest. I feel like Jinx is gonna be easier, and that's saying a lot considering we fought him and he almost killed me about like twice.
Well, does anyone have any ideas on where to get started?
Well, if you can still feel Jinx, like if he's still generally in the area, I'm assuming you and
I was
Rock.
taking a contact lens out. Yes, I think we should go for Jinx first. He seems like a bit easier than stopping the end of the world.
I just wonder where to start. I can feel him, vaguely. Don't have an exact, precise location on a map, though.
Okay.
Can you feel him better, Rock Crusher? You know, you just divorced him, whatever, last night.
I don't know, you tell me, Claire. I feel him better.
Whoa.
Rockcrusher looks up into the sky. Claire, who the fuck is Claire, Rock?
Make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Bear with me a second, I'm on my phone.
Even if we
Where did I go the DVD on that?
find him, what are we gonna do? Like, are we gonna kill him? Are we gonna try and use him? Like, what's the plan?
Maybe.
That's not an answer.
All of those. Oh wow, fucking suck. Arcana, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20, 21.
Goddamn.
I'm 100% using the D&D Beyond app. I don't know.
Well,
You need a big butt.
You can sense him. I won't say you can have an exact location. You can't see him through walls, but you are in the same boat of Sisu where you know that he is still in Zatharax somewhere. You know that he is not around. Whoa.
I'm not 20 here.
Girl, I wasn't
think
done.
know
I
his
wasn't
IP.
finished. You interrupted me.
I know his IP address.
Oh, you can dox him on the spot. No. He's not anywhere around you. He's still in Zatharax, and he is somewhere close to the Capitol building, from what you can sense.
I repeat this information to the rest of the party.
So we're gonna use. Do you think if Rock Crusher gets closer to him, he can get a better idea on where Jinx could be?
Probably. That sounds like sound logic to me.
Okay. So before we decide to go after him, let's figure out what the hell we're gonna do with him. If we're gonna kill him, use him, try to make him join us, which I don't know how possible that is.
Well, I say we kill him.
He is the physical manifestation of a curse.
Yeah, I kill him. There you go. No body, no cares.
I mean, technically, he is y'all's curse, so I guess it's really your decision what
There
you
you
want
go.
to do.
We kill him. It's no physical manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think killing him's a good idea, Caesar?
The best idea that I got. I don't want to deal with him again, and he's ugly too, so best get him out while we can.
All right.
Okay. Kill him with hammers, bricks,
All right, so
rock.
we kill him, and then what's the next move after that?
No idea. Deal with one when we get to it.
I do not know. This is something you should spontaneously come up with.
Maybe. What's wrong with being spontaneous?
I really do wonder. She looks you up and down. You can tell she's judging your character.
Well, I'm just ignoring the fact that, like, I've been on a really good cut. Like, I'm bulked, I've slimmed down, looking lean. Veins are popping. Looking good.
Keep telling yourself that.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the black's a good look for me.
Otto and Rock Crusher.
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll for me a wisdom saving throw? For no reason, of course.
And both of us.
Yes.
I hate it here.
Wisdom saving throw.
Precisely the
What the hell?
one.
$19.
I got a 9.
Gotcha.
Simply not as wise as Rock Crusher, it seems.
Yeah. Losing all that strength went from your muscles directly up here, directly to the brain.
Yeah, that's just how it goes,
Hold on, I gotta roll a few things. Give me a second.
Oh, Otto just blanks out and starts having a fucking seizure on the floor.
No.
Well, this guy sucks.
Ooh, okay.
I'm
Otto.
gonna get big owies just by that. Yep, big owies.
Shush. No, it's not that. Otto, take 26 psychic damage. And Rock Crusher take 13.
Wait.
Ouchies.
Am I immune or am I resistant? I'm resistant. Yes!
Then you also take 13 psychic damage. And I'll describe that you both feel this sharp ringing pain in your ears, and within a split second, the ringing turns into a blinding noise that blurs your vision. The others around you feel the exact same things, and you all instinctively cover your ears with your hands. A few seconds later, the ringing goes away and all of your vision clears. And you catch the ritual circle glowing a teal light color.
Creed's back.
What do you all do?
Probably just wait to see if it is actually Creed.
Yeah.
You see the symbol of the ritual circle glow, and a figure of a person forms from it. And it is, in fact, Creed that emerges from this ritual circle. He doesn't look more disheveled than before, but he does look very fearful in his eyes. Daichi is the first one to do anything as she sort of flies over there. She goes, "Whoa, where did you come from?" As Creed slowly steps out of the portal.
Creed, what the hell happened?
Creed doesn't even look in your direction as he pulls out a small item from his pocket. He doesn't open his hand wide enough for you all to see what it is, but you could tell he's gotten something from his nightly journey, you could say. Sisu walks up to him as well, saying, "Well, what did you even do?" "Nothing to worry about." If there's nothing to worry about, then I don't really know why you're hiding anything. And if there's any time to be worrying about anything, it's now. It's funny coming from me, but we can't really be keeping secrets now. Sisu, I am being truthful. Nothing is wrong. Sisu and Daichi at this point both turn around to you guys for help.
I'm gonna have to side with them, Creed. You look like you saw a ghost. You look disheveled to all hells. This is not the time to be hush hush. Give us, it could be even a vague idea, but like, you can't keep us in the dark.
Yeah, dude, you look like shit.
That's coming from Rock Crusher.
I feel like shit.
Creed whips his body around to face you, and though you can't see his eyes, you can tell that he is annoyed. There is nothing going on. Nothing that any of you can help with, okay? I told you, this issue is bigger than you. And before Creed can finish, the ground erupts with noise and movement. It feels as though the ground has been slammed with pressure. The roof caves in slightly, and the ground following after. All of you feel a force drop onto your bodies. All of you are fine. It's definitely a shock, but your good sleep and recovery has definitely helped with it. However, the same cannot be said for Creed. Right before he can finish his word, his body feels the same pressure that all of you does and hobbles for a bit. Before Creed, losing his strength, his knees buckle and his body crumples to the floor with a large slam onto the ground. His hand opens, revealing the item that was in his hand as a collar of some kind. But before any of you have any time to really do anything, the ground begins to rumble again with loud crack of something unstable from below. Can you all roll a dexterity saving throw?
I don't know, can I?
Yes, you may.
11.
An 18.
Okay, so you're not gonna fail that one. Congratulations. Ooh, let me roll the others. Okay. Underneath you, the ground quickly splits open. And within a few moments of the ground splitting open, it crumbles into a pile of rock. Rock Crusher, you and Elise, and obviously Creed, as he's unconscious, don't manage to escape this pile of rock. It doesn't seem to hurt you, more just bury your feet under the rock. Otto, you escape just fine. Some of those goat-like instincts have still managed to stay. Congratulations. Daichi
Yeah.
jumps into the air and flies above the rubble, and Sisu manages to dive out of it as well. What do you do? And it doesn't seem like you have long before something happens.
Fuck. Hold up. I'm gonna go look at a list to see what strong creatures are there, because I'm definitely not gonna be able to help them out of the rubble if it's big.
You hear more rock falling. The ground around you shakes, scarily unstable.
I think I'm going to try and help Creed from under the rock because he's unconscious, so probably best to get him freed first. And probably ask the others to help anyone else who's under the rubble. Especially Rag, because he's, probably not in a good spot.
You see Sisu reach down towards you, Rock Crusher, for you to take her arms. Hands, I guess.
Rock going unconscious.
I'm sure say that bit again.
Sisu is reaching down to help get you out of the rubble of the collapsed ground.
I'm just staying limp, even though I'm entirely capable. I'm just gonna oh no, I'm so frail.
Okay.
I'm just gonna let it try and drag me.
Okay. After you refusing to really move, Sisu pulls your feet out from under the rock, but then sort of lets go of you and says, "You have feet, walk yourself." And Otto, what are you doing to get Creed out?
Is it heavy rocks that are trapping his purely his feet, or am I able to slide him from under it?
It seems Creed has just slid down. Rock Crusher's feet were stuck; they're not anymore, and Elise has managed to get herself out of the rubble.
Okay, then I'll probably do my best to slide him out from under there and try to get him to a safer area, or try to put him over my back as best I can.
Roll a strength check.
Of course, you asked the person with a -1 to do a strength
Girl,
check.
you're the one that's trying to get this man up on your shoulders and out the way.
Let me sleep.
17.
Okay, you do manage to grab at Creed's feet and drag him out of the hole. And you can't necessarily get him up and over your arms, but you can get him to a position where you can comfortably move him around. But
quick question. You said he had the item under the rock?
It's not under the rock, but you can see that he has dropped it.
I'm gonna send one of the pseudo dragons to grab it.
Okay. You send one of the pseudo dragons to grab it, and as it does, it is successful in grabbing the collar. You remember that because I'm not going to. You see that the ground that has collapsed is still losing rock as it's getting more and more unstable. And you can also see your camping area that you used to be in completely disappear under the sheer pressure of the mountain coming down around it. What do you do?
Okay, we need to get the fuck out of here before we become pancakes. So let's get a move on, shall we? And proceed to get the hell out of there as fast as possible.
You hear more rocks crumbling under the weight. The ritual circle flickers with light as the rock around it and underneath it becomes more unstable as well. The library crumples under the weight. The floor of the room with all the notes falls through into a large hole underneath, and the roof goes after that in that area. The tail of Cinderburn gets caught from this falling rubble, causing it to finally wake up from its nap. It immediately opens up its large body, not adding to the stability of the room around you, and it thrashes around, screeching, a noise that you last heard from the burrowing blade creature while Spine was trying to fight it for control. Everything is happening so fast. Sisu is trying to run towards the creature to help calm it down, but she gets caught under more of the rock as it begins to fall. Creed is still completely unresponsive, but Otto, you are able to keep him out of the harm's way for the most part. Elise, at this point, escaped, is trying to pressure Rock Crusher to get out, but it seems that the pools of water that are around you have created massive waves crashing out of the pool and slamming into one of Elise's arms, that mechanical arm sparking with electricity in response. You see Elise grab onto this electrified arm and say, Putin, I think the cave is collapsing. And sees your response with, really? I couldn't tell from the floor crumbling and the entire weight of a fucking mountain crashing in this tiny-ass cave.
Can we stop arguing and please get a move on? I'd rather not be pancakes.
Fine. Daichi seems to be sort of shocked, unable of what to do as she just sort of sits there and just breaks down and cries from all of the pressure and the panic. What do you guys do?
After some time realizing that it's kind of a struggle to get everyone kind of moving, I'm gonna turn to a young red dragon and pick up Rock Crusher as if he's like a mother cat and a kitten style.
Rock Crusher, are you letting this happen? Hey man, I didn't get a response, so yes.
Okay. And then with one claw, I'm going to put Daichi on my back. The other hand, and then I'm going to do the same thing with Creed. And then I'm going to offer, I forgot her name, a woman with a mechanical arm. Offer she wants to come up on top.
Although, can you roll a, what am I thinking of? A sleight of hand check?
Yeah, I'm on it. Where are my skills? There they are. Sleight of hand. A soft 20.
Okay. So, everything is coming crashing down very quickly. You are very well of the fact, and through your time, you are able to turn into a dragon. You do grab Rock Crusher, and you get Creed and Daichi as well, but while you're trying to get the other two with you as well, your fear about the situation that you're in manifests in something worse. The roof stops collapsing, but instead starts cracking. The cracks become larger and larger and larger, and the entire cave of the Cursed Dragon becomes dangerously unstable. And in one motion, everyone freezes as the ceiling above you cracks and comes crashing down. Everything is loud, powerful, and deadly. You close your eyes, bracing for the impact. You hear everything caving in. The crashing sound above you starts surrounding you and down to the ground. But you don't feel an impact. You open your eyes. Everything is dark. You can see due to dark vision, but the only thing that's really emitting any sort of light is the light of the ritual circle. The fluttering becomes more and more irregular before the ritual circle dissipates one final time. But you're still lost as to how you're alive right now. I mean, an entire mountain basically just collapsed into the room that you're in. That is, until you see the accents of orange spikes of cinderburn curled up around all of you. You see its legs around you, creating this sort of tent from underneath its body. The creature moves one of its legs, and you hear a loud grumble of stone grinding against itself. This creature is holding up an entire mountain on its back. Literally. The creature moves its head around, little rocks falling through the cracks of the creature's figure as it moves. The movements are slow, but it is still moving, even with all these rocks, as if it was just some difficult workout. And with the entire weight of the fucking Esper mountain on top of it, its head pushes through a stack of fallen rock to reveal the entrance to the cave. The entrance is slightly caved in, but it is still intact. What do you do?
I'm probably gonna help the people that are on my back off and motion for them to get a move on. And I'm gonna wait till I'm one of the last ones out, besides Cinderburn up here.
Mm-hmm. You see Sizu, Elise, and eventually Daichi, needing Elise to sort of help push her through the cave, manages to get out just fine. Rock Crusher, what are you doing?
Someone's gonna have to pick him up because
That
if I
brother
turn back, I'm
gone.
gonna get crushed. Yeah, I think he's dead, but I can't turn back with him on me because he will crush me.
You're single-handedly keeping this shit going, aren't you?
Yep. I'm probably gonna try and hand the unconscious rock crusher to somebody and hope someone's willing to take him.
You see Sizu and Elise look towards each other, and then Sizu inevitably just, ugh, before walking over to you to take the unconscious rock crusher.
All right, and once they're all out, I'll turn back and then I will proceed out of the cave.
Okay. After you being the last one with Creed, you see the creature burrow out of the curse-stricken cave as well, and the mountain finally taking its final resting place as the rock slams into the ground when the creature pushes the rock off of its back. The cave hallway into this cave, I should say, the entrance, isn't the most stable place in the world, but you're all out and alive. Can you make a survival check for me?
Yay, survival. A 2. I'm gonna use my normal dice.
Damn.
Fuck this.
Damn.
Fuck this. I need my normal dice.
That's crazy.
This is such bullshit.
Well, you look at the walls of the entrance and you see that there are small little cracks completely covering it. And they aren't small cracks either. They're very, very large, and they travel all the way down the walls, expanding by the second. But you didn't take any survival training, so you don't really know how long this cave has until it might completely collapse.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but just before anyone tries arguing, let's get out of here because this place is definitely gonna collapse. Don't know when, but let's get going. And I'll start walking away with Creed. In hopes they'll follow because I ain't staying.
Come on, it's faster on Cinderburn. There's no way we'll make it out on time.
All right. Let's get on to Cinderburn.
As you're all getting on, you hear Elise blabbling something like, "In my minimal research on geology, these walls are covered in limestone. It makes sense why it's going down so easily. If this cave went down so fast, then that massive hole in where Zathrak sits will probably have only about an hour before it goes down."
Shouldn't we should probably warn people that are still there, if there are any. If Rock doesn't scare them off.
I'm sure some of them have already started getting on their own, but we definitely gotta pick up the pace.
Oh, I need a second. Hold up. My headphones disconnected. Give me 2 secs. My headphones disconnected. That again?
What's the last thing you heard?
Absolutely nothing. After I said that we should try to warn people if Rock didn't scare them off already, and then absolutely nothing.
Damn. Well, I'll just say, Suzu went, well, let's pick up the fucking pace.
All right, let's go. Come on.